Hello, IB English Language and Literature Year 2 students. My name is Mr. Kraus, and I will be your teacher next year. It's nice to meet you. So I would like to take this time to just go over your summer reading assignment. If you take a look at the document that I have here displayed on the screen and read through the directions with me, the goal of the summer reading is twofold, or to accomplish two things. To motivate you to read and reflect while school is not in session, and to get a head start on next year's literary reading. This assignment is a mixture of required reading with some choice as well, and I'll get into that in a minute. Please make sure that you read all these directions carefully, or you could always go back and rewatch this video. So the first part, the introduction and required reading for Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried. You have two options for accessing this text. You can open the PDF, which I've hyperlinked here in the document, or you could use the print version that Ms. Taylor distributed in class. And you're going to read these three chapters, right? The Things They Carried is the name of the book, but it's also the name of the first chapter of the book. On the Rainy River and The Man I Killed. Then you're going to select one or more of these writing prompts in the boxes below and write a 500-word reflection on those chapters. You can make all of your reflection about one of those chapters. You can make, for example, you might react to, how has this text affected you as a reader? You might apply that one to the chapter, The Things They Carried, but then maybe how has this book impacted the way that you think about a specific subject or topic? You might think, well, I'm going to apply that one to what I read in The Man I Killed. It's pretty much free form. You kind of just choose what you're selecting and reflecting on. The idea is that you do reflect. So read through all these different options, right? Select the one or several that apply to you. And then it says the title of the chapter or chapters that you're reflecting on. So if you're only really reflecting on, if all of your answer kind of is being based off of On the Rainy River, then you would type On the Rainy River here. If it's a mixture of all three chapters, then type all three chapter titles. And then let me know which of these questions, just copy and paste them. Here are you reflecting on or responding to, and then there's a space for you to type your actual reflection. Once you're finished with that, you need to answer the global issue connection question. That's this down here. And that's the same. It says, what contemporary global issue do you think this text connects to? A global issue is something both local and global that matters on a grand scale. Some examples may include, oppression of women, racism, immigrant rights, etc. Explain how you see a global issue in the text through the authorial choices, right? Through the use of, let's say, literary devices, or through the use of certain dialogue. Choosing to include, let's say, like a particular conversation instead of just kind of narrating about it, or vice versa, etc. And then there's a spot here again in the chart for you to directly type your answer to that question. I'm not putting a word limit on that one. It just makes sense that you kind of are as concrete as possible. And if it helps, you can use quotes, but I'd rather your response was more your words than quotes. So that covers part one of the assignment. Part two, it says, read one additional chapter of O'Brien's text of your choice. So you're going to select one or more of these chapters listed below: How to Tell a War Story and The Ghost Soldiers. Again, you don't have to do both. If you'd like to, you can, and eventually we will read all of these. But if you want to do both, that's fine, or just pick one or the other. And then you're going to see that the prompts are pretty much the same from above, right? You're just going to select which prompts are you reacting to in that chapter that you chose. Let me know which chapter you chose, which questions you're responding to, your reflection, and then one more time, trying to find a global issue connection within that chapter as well. You will submit this document to me the first week of school. To help you out, I've provided some resources as well. So first, if you just click on the hyperlink, quick introduction to the author and the text. If you open that up, that goes here. I give you like an introduction to the book itself, a lot more information about the author, Tim O'Brien, and then a spoiler-free kind of plot introduction, right? Without kind of ruining things for you, let you know basically how the book is set up and what the sequence is like. I will point out, then, probably the most difficult thing for some students to kind of understand is this book is not meant to be read, or doesn't have to be read in sequential order, right? Don't read chapter 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Only the first chapter, where all the characters are introduced, needs to be read first. After that, you can kind of read the chapters in any order you'd like. And Tim O'Brien does that on purpose because his goal is to tell several stories about the Vietnam War. Okay, and so returning to the document, another resource that I wanted to give you is just like a quick summary of the Vietnam War and important vocabulary or military jargon. I am former military myself, so a lot of these abbreviations that they use and a lot of the terms that Tim O'Brien uses make sense to me, but for students, sometimes they don't make sense. And you can use context clues to figure some of it out in the text, but that's not always easy. So I thought I would try to make that easier for you. So you'll see that this PDF is hyperlinked in here. This is a presentation from a while ago that I did. Don't worry about this essay prompt. This isn't for you. This is the old class. But if you scroll down, there's information about the Vietnam War, very quick bullet points, right? There's more in the other contextual information as well. Some information about the author, more information about the author. But here's the one that's probably the most important as far as relating military jargon, right? Almost everything gets abbreviated, right? R&R is rest and relaxation. SOP is standard operating procedures, or the way you would go about doing something every single time a situation presents itself, et cetera, et cetera. You can kind of read through these yourselves if you think that would be necessary. I just wanted to make sure that they are here for you, and that it makes it easier for you to understand. And then again, when you scroll down to the bottom, it says vocabulary assignment. You don't have to worry about that. That's an old assignment. I really just wanted you to use the resource on military jargon and the information about the author and the Vietnam War. So those resources are available to you at the bottom of the document as well. If you run into trouble and you need more clarification about something, you can always send me an email. Ms. Taylor will provide you with my email address. It's the one through MCPS. And while I won't be checking it frequently, I will check it from time to time. So if you write me something, and it's not a last minute, like, hey, it's the last day of summer before we return to school, can you tell me what I'm supposed to do for summer reading? Right, then I will do my best to help you out. If you have any questions immediately after watching this video, you can also send me an email, and I'll try to answer your questions as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to being your teacher next year, seeing you in class, and reading your reflections after the summer. And have a good